Hi everyone, this is Lydia here at Lydia's Leisurely Stitching. Welcome to my 9th Flosstube video. Today is Monday, January 20th, 2020. This is my third time trying to record this video and my anxiety is acting up. I guess I'm a little out of practice after taking a break for a while. I'm jumping at all the noises, so we're just gonna go with it and roll. I did just open up 2 fortune cookies though, and it says, good things are coming your way, and you are exactly where you're supposed to be. So I could use that little bit of encouragement. It's been a rough couple of weeks for me. I haven't been feeling very well. I'm kind of nauseous when I sit up or stand up for any period of time. But hopefully things are going to start getting better soon, and we're here to talk about cross stitch, and that's all great. So we'll just go ahead and get right into it. So yeah, my major project, as you probably know, is The Place of Her Own by Haid, and I'll put in a picture of it, of what it'll look like when it's finished, and what it looked like at the beginning of the year. My goal this year on this project is to do 10 pages. I also have an auxiliary goal of doing 15 of the national parks challenges in full coverage fanatics on this, and each park is 4,000 stitches, so that's 60,000 stitches, and I'm not quite sure how many stitches are in a page. I've got the full coverage, obviously full coverage, the large print chart, and I think they're about 5,000 stitches per page, so that would work out to 12 pages, but minimum 10, shooting for 60,000 stitches on this piece, and I've got my first page finish of the year. It's a difficult page to show because it's in the very middle of the piece, so it's kind of hard to fold it. There she is. So this page gave me the beautiful face of my lady. Let's see. So comes down here. So I've got her face in, and I started, this is the sleeve of her dress. And it was kind of interesting because after finishing all of the rest of the pages down here that are lots of black, and doing her hair, which is a lot of black and 3371, very dark brown, switching over to her dress was a little bit harder than I would expect. You know, you think, oh, it's just a cross stitch, you know, it's all the same stitch, a stitch is a stitch, what's the difference? Well, you might know that 310 tends to be thinner than the other colors, and so when I'm working with all of that black, I have to pull very lightly and use a loose tension on the piece so that I don't get a lot of see-through or where you can see the fabric through. But then when I switched over to her dress, all of those light colors, they're a lot puffier and fuller than the black. And so my stitches were looking a little bit ugly. And I usually, you know, I like my stitches to look good, but I'm not super particular about what order I do my stitches in. Usually I do, I guess I would call it cross-country by length. So I'll cut off a length of floss, and I'll do all of the stitches in that color that I can easily reach without traveling very far, and then I'll go through and pick another color and start again. But when I was doing that in the dress, you know, some stitches would pop up higher, and some stitches would pull of the other stitches through, and it was looking pretty bad. So for the dress, I went through and I started doing line by line. I'd do half a stitch of the color through the line, half the stitch of all the colors to the end of the line, and then go back through, finishing crossing my stitches. And I would do that for all of the blocks of the dress. So I think it's going to be harder to work on than the black that I've been leisurely stitching through recently. So I went ahead and I've started the next page probably got a good 600 stitches in there. But I'm going to stitch the page kind of around the rest of the shoulder, and then I'm going to have to go back through and do more of the dress. And I'm thinking I might try diagonal stitching for the dress, just because I do want it to look as good as possible. So we'll have to see. It might just be that I need to use a tighter tension as I'm working with those colors. And I did decide, so my 10-page goal is 5 pages across, 2 pages high. And I did decide to work on this page across because that dress is big. It's covering, I think I counted 10 pages that have, this much dress or more on them. So I wanted to kind of spread it out. So I'll do this page, and then I might go back through and do this page, which has, this is the edge of her sleeve, so more sleeve and more dress on it, so that I can kind of work on some not dress, dress, not dress, dress, and kind of break it up that way, since it's going to be a little bit difficult to work on. And then my other project I'm working on, this is the poem If by Rudyard Kipling, and it's based off of the pattern by Lifetime Samplers. I've extensively changed it, so the words are about the same. Some of the letters I have found are irregular, and the shape of the letter changes throughout the piece, so I've made them so that they're all the same. The if is from the chart. I've changed the colors, and then the border are designs that my husband found on the internet and recharted to make his own and what he was looking for. So at the beginning of the year, I had the if, the border on the side done, 2 stanzas. And then this year so far, I've added this piece here and this here. I try to work on this for an hour on the weekends. So not a lot of progress, but something I do what I'm supposed to do and keep plugging along. That's kind of how I feel like my life is going right now. Just keep plugging along, keep going. I look back at my diary about what I wrote last year, and I feel like I'm in the same place I was last year, and that's kind of hard for me. So I'm just taking everything one day at a time, one step at a time, one chore at a time, one stitch at a time, And cross-stitching is good for me because I see progress. I write down my stitches, I know how many stitches I did, and I know, hey, that's one more stitch than if I didn't do it. Last week I had a day where I only got 20 stitches in. And that was hard, but, 20 stitches is 20 stitches, and I'm 20 stitches closer. And so, while it's winter, I know it can be hard for a lot of other people too. So I just want to have a word of encouragement for anyone out there that needs it and let you know, the tide is turning. Winter solstice has passed. The days are getting longer. Warmer weather is coming. I know it doesn't feel like it as we start getting into the coldest month here in the northern hemisphere, but change is coming. Spring will come. Sun will come. Light will come. Goodness will come. And as you get your stitches done, finishes will come. So yeah, I hope that you're all feeling well and get a little bit of encouragement from that. In addition to my stitching, I've got another little project to share with you. So several years ago for Christmas, I got this needle minder from my sister. She bought it off of Etsy, and unfortunately I don't know the name of the store that it came from, but this was several years ago. And I really like this needle minder because it has a hedgehog, because it has a super cool mushroom, and because it's a little over an inch in diameter, not quite an inch and a half, maybe an inch and a quarter, and on the back it has a very large magnet. So also I love that it's fabric, so it feels good. And I keep this next to my stitching. I usually have maybe 10 needles on it at a time. I really like it. So for Christmas, I asked for another needle minder, one with a rubber duck on it. Rubber ducks make me smile. And I got this one. And this one is double-sided, so it's got some blue fabric on the back, but it's got a very tiny magnet. It'll hold my needle, but you can see the needle doesn't fit on there completely, so getting 10 needles on here would be a challenge. It's quite a difference in size. So while it's cute, it's not really what I was looking for. So I asked around on Stitchmania and some of the other groups because I would really like some more fabric needle minders that are a little bit larger, 1 to 1.5 inches, so they can hold the full needle. My husband came to me yesterday, he found a needle on the floor. So yeah, I like it to hold the needles a little bit more securely than that. Yeah, so I was asking around, but I couldn't find anyone that makes fabric needle minders like this one that I've got, which is a good size and has a large magnet. But someone did share with me a tutorial they had on how to make your own needle minders. So I started sourcing some of the components you need. I got this button kit at Joann's. It comes with 2 1.5-inch buttons, so it is slightly larger than this one, but I think it'll still be good. Yeah, but then I wasn't feeling well, so I couldn't really finish. So I need to get some glue, I need to get some magnets, I need to find a fabric I like. I really like these cutesy things. I would love to find some better, or some fabric that has rubber ducks on it. I looked through Joann's and I couldn't find any rubber duck fabric. They had guacamole fabric, they had campfire fabric, they had Christmas sloth fabric. They had all the fabric you can imagine, and they had no rubber duck fabric. I know I'm crazy, but I just don't know how that's not a thing. So, in addition to my stitching, if I feel well enough to go out to the store, I'm going to keep an eye out for some fabric to make some new cute buttons with. So that's all for now. Again, I hope you're all doing well. Keep your spirits up, enjoy your stitching, and I'll see you again soon. Bye guys.